let's start with mantra. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This is the mantra recommended by Vivekananda, by the way. If you want to start doing your yoga exercises, you do this mantra, you turn to the east and you pronounce it. It means, may all beings get well, or swastir bhavatu. May there be swasti, well-being for all. May there be fullness or perfection of all. May there be peace for all, and may there be auspiciousness for all. And when you mean it, and then peace, 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 peace 3 times means peace in the mind, peace in the feelings and emotions, and peace in the physical body. And peace is something much more tangible and much more different from what we usually think about peace. We think about peace as something tamasic or something relaxing. It is much more active in a way. It's an active peace that when the body is well balanced, where all the elements are well composed, then peace appears. It's a harmony of energies. So, I would, yeah.
Mother has 3 organ pieces that I use when I do my yoga exercises. It's called aspiration of the body for the divine.
Yes. Aspiration, rejection, and surrender. That's
the title she has given to those 3 pieces. Aspiration of the body for the divine.
Okay, so interesting. So interesting. Aspiration of the body to the divine. This is the 3 piece.
Yes, 3 separate.
Yeah, interesting. Totally different view. Yeah? More to embody the divine in this world rather than to be abstract. But this is a typical Indian tradition, which is wishing everybody, may all be happy. Not some, not my friends, not my relatives and my family, and my enemies should die. It's not like that. Everybody, my enemies also should be experiencing well-being, peace, and fullness and auspiciousness. Only in that case we would have real peace for ourselves. Actually, we don't realize that yet, but once we see that our enemies are at peace, and then only we are free finally, because it's a sword with double F. Great. Okay, let's look into our material. I put a very short video there for the alphabet. This is what we looked into here. So this is our alphabet, so it can be read in many different ways. I called this before as something like brain massage, because if we activate all possible articulations in our apparatus, we actually reach to different locations in the brain, as it were. And so if you want to massage the brain, we have to run this alphabet through a few times. Would you like to run with me once, one by one, or you want only to listen passively?
No, I want to run with you.
Okay, great. So let's then run with me. Teresa, you're first. Ka, ga, gha, nga. I will be slow first.
Ka, ga, ga, na,
Nga. Nga. Going.
N.
The same back tongue. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Ka, ka, ga, ga, na, na.
Nga.
Nga.
Nga. Going.
Going.
Anga.
Anga.
Yes,
Ka,
great.
ka.
Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Ka, ka, ga, ga, na.
Yes, this aspirated gha. Gha.
Ga,
G
ga,
and ha together. Gha.
ga,
Yeah.
ga.
Usually we do gah. It's not. It's rather gha.
Gaha.
Aha. So
Gaha.
two coming together. Great. Then cha cha ja ja nya palatal. The middle of the tongue. Cha cha ja ja nya.
Cha, 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 na. Oh,
Cha
no.
cha
Cha, cha.
ja ja
Ja, ja.
ja. Again the same.
Jaha.
Nya 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 nya.
Nya. Nya.
Then the most difficult sound. You have to turn your tip of the tongue and hit over the heels over the teeth. Ta, ta, da, da, na.
Ta, 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 da, na.
Na, 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 na.
Na, 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 na,
Great.
na.
And then ta, tha, da, dha, na, dentals, as we have it in English.
Ta, ta, da, na, na.
Ta, tha, da, dha, na.
Ta, ta, da, na.
Yeah,
Get
these
that?
aspirated have to
Yeah.
be
Mhm.
dha,
Daha.
dharma,
Dharma. Da, da,
yuddha, yuddha.
da, da.
Yeah, buddha. Say buddha.
Buddha. Buddha.
Yes, buddha.
Da.
Very good. Papababhama labials.
Papa, baba, ma.
Yes. Can you say Mahabharata?
Maharaparata.
Bha.
Ba.
Bhu-
Baha.
Bhubhridbhih.
Brubit, pri.
No aspirations. Bhubhridbhih.
Bubrit,
Bhubhridbhih.
pi. Bubrit, pi.
Bhubhridbhih.
Bubrit, pri.
That requires so much aspiration. Yeah, it's a
Yes.
bhubhrid and then bhihi. Bhubhrid bhihi. It's one word which means together with the kings. Bhubhrid bhihi. Great. Okay, and then Yaralava,
Yaralava.
Shasha,
Shasha.
Saha.
Saha.
This is alphabet. Excellent. H and F are not part of the alphabet because they are pronounced only at the end of the word, never at the beginning or in the middle. So they are not included as letters. So these are the letters. So the whole alphabet sounds like this. Kokhogaganga, chechajajanya, tathardadhana, tathadadhana, paphababhama, yaralava, shashasaha. That's it.
Wow.
It's like a dance. Yeah. Kakagaganga, chechajajanya, dathadadhana, tathadadhana, papababhama, yaralava, shashasaha. Shashasaha. Like this, the dances, tapping. So, okay, great. Somebody else volunteers to go through? No? Yeah, okay, Ashish. Kakagaghanga. You are Indian. It should go straight into your bloodstream.
I'll remember my school days. Kakagagana,
Chechajajanya.
Chachajajanya,
Tathadadhana.
Tathadadhana,
Tathadadhana.
Tathadadhana,
Papababhama.
Papababhama,
Yaralava shashasaha.
Yaralava Shashasaha.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Great. Somebody else? No? So this is the way how we read. Yeah, please, Robert. Kakagaghanga. Oh
No,
no, we stay on the same level. Huh? Kakha, gagha, nga, the same back tongue. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga.
Ka, kha, ga, ga, nya,
Nga, 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 nga.
nga, nya,
Mhm. Nya is different. It's next level. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya.
cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ya.
Very, very good. Nya. We don't go into that. Yeah. These are called vargas. The first varga is ka varga, second varga cha varga. Varga means row or level. Then ta varga, and pa varga. And each varga has 5 consonants. These are ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, one varga. Yeah, ka varga. Most probably Ashish remembers these vargas. Then cha, cha, ja, jhanya is another cha varga. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 25. 5 times 5. Yeah. Then tatha dadhana. The tongue, tip of the tongue curls and hits over the teeth, over the heels of the teeth. Tatha dadhana.
Ta, 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 dana,
Very good. Then touching the teeth, tip of the tongue, not curled anymore. Tatha dadhana.
ta, ta, da, dana,
Very good. And lips. Papha babhama.
pa, pa, ba, ba, ma.
Yes. And you notice that they are the same modalities of articulation. Yeah. First touched, aspirated, then voiced aspirated, then nasals, all of them on 5 levels, then all semivowels, and then fricatives. And then yaralava,
Ya, ra, la, va,
sha, sha, sa, ha.
sha, sa, sa,
Yeah. Sha, sha is tongue is like this. First is sha, palatal, then sha,
sha,
cerebral. Mhm.
sha, sha, sa,
Excellent. And ha.
ha,
Yes, the last one.
ha.
Sha, sha, sa, ha. That's how we do it. Yes, great. And this would be the level how you will find the order how you find the words in the dictionary. Yes, first ka, beginning with ka, then with kha, then with ga, and so on. Great. Anybody else? Yeah, Elia knows this. No? Okay. We are not forcing anyone, just be ready. So there is a recording, you can try yourself, and so on and so forth. Great. This is the alphabet. So we can read it in this way. We can read it also ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, ha, ha. All of them. A, ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, ha, ha. Then cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ya, sha. Then ta, tha, da, dha, na, ra, sha. Then ta, tha, da, dha, na, la, sa. Then pa, pha, ba, bha, ma, wa, fa. So all the whole level. Yeah? Or we can read them by dancing tongue, like ka, cha, ta, ta, pa. Yeah, like ka, cha, ta, ta, pa on 5 levels. Ka, cha, ta, ta, pa. Ga, ja, da, da, ba. Ga, ja, da, da, ba. Ma, nya, ra, na, ma. Ha, ya, ra, la, va. Ha, sha, sha, sa, fa. This is more difficult, but once you train yourself, it becomes very interesting. It's a brain massage. You feel, oh my God, my brain is tired now because it got so much onto it. But maybe it even revives some cells in the brain when it hits with this particular articulation vibration. It's quite interesting thing. Or we can look at this alphabet in another way. We can combine them with vowels. For example, a is back tongue, so ka is back tongue. So ka, kha, ga, gha, nga, ha, ha is typical for a and ka. And then e can be chi, chi, ji, ji, ni, yi, shi. Pure only palatals. Chi, chi, ji, ji, ni, yi, shi. I don't even go cha, cha, ja, ja, nya, ya, sha. I skip with the same E level, the same palatal vowel. And you will notice that these would be simple roots of Sanskrit language. Chi, ji, shi, yeah? Ka, kha, ga, These are simple roots which have meanings, and we will come to it in a minute. Then you can combine with ri, which is difficult to pronounce, with li, which is even more difficult to pronounce. I will not break my tongue here. But pu, pu, bu, bu, mu, wu, fu is also possible. Pu, labial p with u labial. Pu, also bu, voiced bu, voiced aspirated, mu, nasal, labial with u labial, vu, vu, and fu. All of them. Pu, pu, bu, bu, mu, vu, fu. So, kakaga, ganga, ha, ha, chi, chi, ji, ji, ni, yi, shi, pu, pu, bu, bu, mu, vu, fu. This is the whole apparatus, activating all possible, meaningful. So if we look into these simple roots, root pu, for example, to purify, notice purity, pu, interesting, yeah? Or to purna from here, from purna, to feel, fool, the same etymology. Yeah? To feel, to fool, to become full, to be. This is with pu etymology. With chi is another. It's this tendency to occupy the goal. Now I want to cover something on the etymology today to finish with alphabet. And I just took these extracts from Sri Aurobindo's works on Sanskrit language. Sri Aurobindo did something amazing. I don't think anybody ever did anything of the kind, because I studied these subjects quite deeply, historically, from the beginning, from all the scriptures of Pratishakyas, the most ancient phonetic treatises, then Niruktam is etymology, 600 BC by Yaska, and so on. And then Panini, 500 BC, the Vyakarana, the grammar. And nobody does this what Sri Aurobindo did. What he did, he identified the meanings with the sounds. Varnasport, our psychological general significance, what is happening to us when we articulate sounds. So that is here the quotations from him. Law and process must govern the origins and developments of language, given the necessary clue, and that's what he did, and sufficient data. They must be discoverable. It seems to me that in Sanskrit language, the clue can be found. The data lie ready for investigation. So we can find, and that is his proposal, an equal regularity, an equal reign of fixed process on the psychological side in the determining of the relation of particular sense to particular sound. Now, here we come. The four first simple vowels, a, I, U, Ri, of Sanskrit language indicate the idea of being or existence. We spoke about this, that vowels have no end. These are not like consonants. Consonants are touched. Yeah, there is a point in time, like k, ch, t, y, r. Yeah? But vowels, they can sound forever. Yeah? They have no touch. So these four vowels, I, U, Ri, indicate the idea of being, existence. A, in its short form, indicates being in its simplicity. And it is true, there is no modulation. The only vocal cords are sounding. There is no tongue, no lips, nothing is involved, only vocal cords. In its simplicity, without any further idea of modification or quality, mere or initial being, creative of space. It creates some kind of space or some kind of initial being. E, an intense state of existence, intense, being narrowed, forceful, and insistent, tending to a goal, seeking to occupy space. It's like an arrow flying, like a needle piercing, through going. Ooh, ooh, a wide, and we can feel immediately a huge. Yeah. So ooh, a wide, extended, but not diffused state of existence. It's not diffused. It's dense within, being medial and firmly occupant of space. It fills the space. This is purity, fullness. Why it is so? There is something about it, because lips are the last in our psychological state. They are the surface. When you're full, you are overflowing over the body. You could feel this fullness within you when you say. It's a psychological state because we have this apparatus built in such a way. When we pronounce that, we have that sense of being. Yeah, physically even. And re, finally, a vibrant state of existence, pulsing in space, like a drilling machine, being active about a point, within a point, doesn't go away from that point, within a limit. It's exactly as drilling those, which you have when they build the road into one point, drilling until it breaks through. Yeah, this breaking through. You will find the same everywhere in Indo-European languages. These vowels are actually building the meaning. We feel them when they are there. And you can see it that the re is everywhere, crushing, breaking, through, and so on. Li, there is one more sound. Li, which he does not comment here, but I want to comment. Li and the Ri, Panini considers to be the same sound, of the same quality. He says they are nearly identical. Nearly, but not really identical. Ri is more sharp, as we feel. It's like breaking, It's like crushing or through, going through. It's like drilling through. But if I substitute Ri by Li, it will be very different. It will be like gliding. If crashing is for R, then clashing is already like, going on the surface, like leaking, gliding, sliding. Yeah, it is not riding or breaking. It's blaking. It's not breaking. I'm just taking into the same kind of system different sounds, re and li, and you would feel the difference. All the words with li would have this significance of leaking, gliding, clashing. What else is there? Liking, leaking. uh,
It's interesting, Vladimir, like in Bengali language of India, like in Calcutta, we have Re and Li in the alphabets, but in Bangladesh, Bengali language, we just have Re, and they believe that both are the same, like as you mentioned in Tamil.
Absolutely, yeah, I know. And the same, you can find the same in Japanese language. They don't distinguish between ri and li, and it becomes very difficult for English speaking people because that sounds so funny when they mix them up. And not only that, yes, in Vedic language, ri is more dominant, r. And later in the classical Sanskrit, it becomes more and more l, like rabhate becomes labhate, rinhati becomes linghati, even lich, rich is to leak, yeah, ledhi. In a Vedic will be with the ri. So r shifts to l more and more in classical Sanskrit. Like rochate and lochate, these shifts. Labhate, rabhate, labhate. These are known. Rekha, lekha. You know these words in Hindi. Rekha as a line, which is cutting through, and lekha, lekhati as also scratching, but already kind of writing with. Lekhana. So, and it's all from Sanskrit language. So here we have these 5 vowels determining the most general idea of the whole varga or the whole sthana, level of articulation. Back tongue, is the indifferent state of existence. E, intense, narrowed, seeking to occupy space, tending to a goal like an arrow. E, it's very intense, insistent. So, and then u, occupying, holding, also has duality within it. Dwa, toi, all these thou, you, everywhere second person will have u. Why? Because two are connected, because you and somebody else. So you are the second one in my connection. And you will see this in the roots. We will take the simple roots and we will see that the meanings are maintained in the roots. These very meanings which Sri Aurobindo here defines, we will find them as applied to particular context. And like, for example, root u. U means E and U together. Yes, E is that one-pointedness, concentration, and U means duality. So U has 2 meanings: to unite and to divide, to hold 2 in 1, or to hold 1 in 2. And here you have it, to unite or to divide. From here you have huge, to yoke, to use. Notice the same in English, funny. And then you have yudh, to fight. Why yudh is to fight? Yudhyate, because to hold 2 in 1. Again, 2 in 1, when they are opposites held, there is an tension of energy. So these are the meanings which are generated from these simple sound ideas. And they are all inbuilt in our apparatus. When I make E sound, I feel the tension. When I make U sound, I feel the fullness. Yeah, makes sense.
Vladimir, I'm just wondering, in Sanskrit, do we have anything that stresses like small e and big E, like E, E, U,
Yeah,
U,
they have
and
kindred
what would be
sounds. They are not really changing the foundation of the meaning.
Okay, so I was just wondering if they would have a different meaning, like when there is a more stress.
Right. No, they are not. They
Okay.
are the same, because the same substance, the same articulatory effort is used. Yeah. So
But
here are many more things to look into. Yes, somebody is speaking.
yeah, in the Secret of Vedas, Sri Aurobindo gives a different interpretation to the scriptures. Is it based on the sound? Because he says
Absolutely.
that Veda have dual meaning.
Absolutely. I was for many years doing this studies of the Veda and Vedic hymns, and I translated more than 350, 400 hymns from the Rig Veda in Sri Aurobindo's light. And I must tell you, the vision of the Rishi becomes possible because of understanding of the meaning which he proposes. You can recover the meaning of the words because of this understanding. It's amazing. And if you look into the dictionaries, you will see how they are misled, because they are trying to apply some cultural usage or some later understanding of how the word was used later. Yes, in the contextual application. So contextual applications become meanings of the words, not the central meaning. And Sri Aurobindo always recovers the central meaning, the major meaning. And then you can really see why Rishi uses that word and not this word. Yeah? And that makes totally sense. Then you start seeing his pictures. That's what he did. So the Veda is built on language. Language itself is knowledge. Yeah? And we can really recover it. We can learn from the Veda everything. The Veda is the guru. Yes. Once you have that language in place, you can learn from the Rig Veda directly. You don't need the guru to explain to you what it means, because the Veda will speak to you in terms of your own understanding. You will vibrate and understand, and the meanings will come to you in a very unexpected and direct way, much more direct than we usually do it through the mind. We speculate a lot. Yeah? But here it's something more, something more intuitive. So if you look at the whole system, how he explains this particular approach, and he calls it the philological approach to the recovery of the meaning, because only with this philological approach you actually can read the Veda. You can't read it through any of those means given by tradition. It won't do. That's why Veda was lost and is lost. The meaning is not understood. If you go to Gurukulas, nobody will explain to you what it means. They will say, yeah, mantra itself has already, it sounds, it has meaning. That's it. Please don't ask me what it means. Nobody wants to know what Veda wants to say. Yeah? So the recitation of the mantra is already enough for them, but not for Sri Aurobindo and not for us. We want to know what it means. We want to recover the meaning. Now he says here, the Rishi's use of language was governed by the ancient psychology of the word. When in English we use the word wolf or cow, we mean it by it simply the animal designated. We are not conscious of any reason why we should use the particular sound for the idea except the immemorial custom of the language. And we cannot use it for any other sense or purpose except by an artificial device of style. But for the Vedic Rishi, vrika meant the terror, and therefore, among other applications of the sense, a wolf. So it's not the wolf, it's a terror, and then the wolf. And dhenu meant fosterer, from root dhe to foster, nourisher, and therefore a cow. But the original and general predominates, and the derived and particular is secondary. This is the psychology of the ancient word. The activity of the root, or the central or quintessential meaning of the sound, predominates over the particular application, contextual meaning. Contextual meaning is secondary. You can call anybody the wolf, yeah? Because he is a terror. And among many applications, also the wolf. The Vedic Sanskrit abounds in a variety of forms and inflections. It is fluid and vague, yet richly subtle in its use of cases and tenses. And on its psychological side, it has not yet crystallized, is not entirely hardened into the rigid forms of intellectual precision. The word for the Vedic Rishi is still a living thing, a thing of power, creative, formative. It is not yet a conventional symbol for an idea, but itself the parent and former of ideas. It carries within it the memory of its roots, is still conscient of its own history. This is profound. Of course, nobody did anything of the kind. This is actually a taboo in general linguistics. Nobody dares to go in that direction, to believe that sound has meaning. Because we kind of think in the mental structure of consciousness. So the phoneme doesn't have meaning, only morpheme, because morphema is something like root, yeah. But phonema, a, ka, gha, doesn't have meaning. It's just only a building block. That is the belief of the modern linguistics, theoretical linguistics. I actually did the work of all the roots. I looked through all the roots, what they really mean, and how they build the meaning in this particular way. I did quite a lot of study before. I'm not going now with you through all of it. If you are interested, we can do it separately in separate studies. I spent many hours with people who are interested in etymology to make sense from everything, because it's like a system of etymons. All sounds are related and they build meanings. Yeah? And these meanings can be recognized by us, and not through the dictionary, but through articulation. We can really arrive at those meanings which are in the dictionary without looking into it. My teacher in the university, when we had the course on the Rig Veda in St. Petersburg University, she was curious every time, and she was asking me, Vladimir, how do you know that this word means that? This word is met only in this hymn, only once. How do you know that it means this? I was already equipped with Sri Aurobindo's knowledge, and was trying to see every meaning in every word. And we always arrived at that which was suggested by the tradition. So one can do this. It's doable. It's not something in the air or some kind of imagination. Okay, now if you look at this alphabet, you will see that this is a first etymological system. It's like a system of elements of the Mendeleev's table of all the elements. Whatever position you occupy, that meaning you will have, so to say. So the meanings shift in accordance how Sri Aurobindo described. So, and it is amazing how it works. So chi root, if I take pure ch and e, this forceful and narrow, tending to occupy the goal, means chi means to focus on one point, to collect, to gather all attention to one point. From here we have chit as consciousness. But this is not consciousness in a sense as we understand it. It is that particular faculty to focus everything, all your attention to one particular point. Because there are many other being aware, bodha or buddha or buddhi. It is being open. It's very different than being focused. So the consciousness can have many different, and we can arrive at this meaning from many different routes, and they would have different significances, different activities, actions. That's why there are so many words denoting consciousness in Sanskrit, but they are all arriving from different roots and have different significance. So chi is to focus, to hold attention on one point. Ji, interesting, another root, is to conquer, to break through the border and to occupy the space from within. Satyam eva jayate. Yes, and this is the Indian slogan. The truth alone prevails. I would say conquers, breaks through and settles within, occupies. Um, not even occupies, there is another word. Invades. This is the word I'm looking. It invades and settles within. The invasion is the major process. Then she, sharpening, like sharpening, making more and more kind of one-pointed. Look at this. Chi, to focus. Ji, to break through with focus. And she, to sharpen. Just think about it, how beautiful it is. And these are simple roots. From here, we can extend these roots. We can add chit and so on. Chid and G can have many different extensions. And these extensions shift or add to this major significance contextual application meaning. Or we take roots, for example, tree, or I don't want to take re yet, or pu. I take only simple roots for now, for you to see. Pu, to purify and to fill, or bu, or bhu, to become, to extend through space. Mu, to bind and to measure by binding. So I did this work with etymology, comparing different sets of roots with the same vowels. Let me see whether I have it here. If not, then I will bring it next time. Or I will send you the text. If I take, for example, such roots as the same consonant but different vowels. For example, root ma, to measure. Root mi, it is to measure but diminish. And it is totally meaningful in the setting of what we are talking about. Then mu, to measure but to bind everything, to connect one to another. And then mri, drilling through, is to die or to cleanse out or to break through the form.
Vladimir, I have a question.
Yes.
This is very interesting. When you studied etymology, you used the phonetic symbols instead of Devanagari.
Well, no, it's only for us because we have people who do not read Devanagari. Yeah, I prefer Devanagari actually.
So even for etymology, the study of sounds, Devanagari would work instead of the phonetic symbols.
Much better. Yeah, I'm just using this because some people don't read Devanagari, so
Okay.
they have
I'll
to
be very
see.
interested to see how it works. So maybe I'll pick it up with you separately. Thank you.
Yeah, Devanagari works super good. Yeah, it's much clear. Yeah, clearer even. Great. But we are speaking about sounds. We are not speaking about the writing of them. We are talking about how they sound and what they do to us. So this is what I wanted you to see. This is the simple, original system of etymological meanings or significances. Okay, here we are. So simple vowels are also interesting because it's a mixture. We have simple vowels a, I, U, really on 5 levels of articulation, and we can mix them. We can mix them with a. A mixing with I gives e. A mixing with U gives o. A mixing with ri, ar, with li, al. A, long a, mixing with I gives I. A mixing with U gives ao. So these diphthongs are in the Sanskrit language, e, o, I, ao, but they are considered to be derivations. You know? They are what do you call them? Diphthongs, and they are dual sounds. You know? Why this system is important? Because it helps us to create many words within the same system, clearly demarcated. For example, whenever I see the word ending in e, like ne, netram, the eye, I immediately understand that this is e root, ni, to lead. So I can always come back to the root. If I have nayana, nayana is nothing but nai, which becomes na-y before a. So nayana, leading forward, I recognize root ni. So there will be never shift from this e-a-I within the derivation. Or u or ao, they will stay within the same field. So if I have bhava, then I know that it is bhurut immediately. Yeah? So because au is nothing but u on the level of riddhi, where a is added. So that helps to create many words which are transparent in meaning. We can recognize the root. Okay, this is it for today. Oh my God, it took longer. I wanted to go to morphology today. I wanted to just jump over it and to go straight to morphology, but most probably it's too late already. I will stop here. And if you have some questions or clarifications or some aha moments, please share.
I
Uh,
have a question, Vladimir.
Yes, please, Radhe.
Somebody else wanted to. Okay, just a quick one. You know, we were talking earlier, you and I, about the Rig Veda and how the Rig Veda uses for certain words a more ancient Sanskrit language in some cases. Can you explain a little bit about the difference between some of the words and why there's a difference between some of the words that you can find, the Sanskrit words in the Rig Veda, versus what is more commonly found in today's Sanskrit language?
Yes, Sri Aurobindo does this work. You can see in his translations of the hymns to the mystic fire, and the Vedic hymns, you can see how he shifts the accent, accentuation in the meaning of the words. For example, the first verse of the Rig Veda, which everybody knows, Agnimile. Yes, I usually it is translated I adore Agni, or I love Ilde, Id, to love. But Sri Aurobindo gives another significance. He says, I seek with adoration, because root id, yeah, with e, the seeking to occupy space, this tending to a, flying to the goal like an arrow, is actually focusing the power. It's powerfully focusing. So I seek with adoration. Look at this beautiful, totally changes the meaning. I seek the divine flame with adoration. So I aspire towards the divine flame. This aspiration comes into mind immediately. Once we know those varnas, those colors, those general significances, we can widen the scope of understanding of the Rigvedic terms, and it becomes alive for us. That is the example. And there are many, each word is an example. By the way, when we will read the Rigvedic hymns, we will see that I can take any word and we can dive into it so deep with Sri Aurobindo's help, of course, with his keys. So each word has a meaning, deeper, much farther away from what we usually understand by that particular term. If we take, for example, like purohitam, he says purahitam, so establishing the one who is put in front or established in front of our journey. He is the leader of all our evolutionary march, yeah? Or yajnasya devam ritvijam, yes, deva. Deva is the god, we translate, but it is from root div, to shine, full of light. Yeah, from here, Diao, heaven. From here, mm, even etymology, Zeus is actually from the sky, sky full of light. Yeah. From here also the play of light, the rays playing. Why the rays? I do not know whether in English it is correct. Is a ray playing also, or something? So it is that kind of vibrating of the energy which generates this light. And from here, Deva is the luminous being. and not the God, but a luminous being which emanates light. Now, when we go deeper, what Sri Aurobindo means by light in Life Divine and Synthesis, we find those definitions. It's amazing how it beautifully fits into this idea, because that is actually the truth, the consciousness which is shining through, and is represented through the physical light in this universe. And so on and so forth. Each word is charged with this deeper significance, and then we can have a totally different overview, much more psychological. When I worked in IPI, Indian Psychology Institute, with Matthias, we did this research for many years, yes, from 2006 to till 2015. We met with all the ashramites there and studied on a weekly basis, hymn after hymn. And he was very keen and interested to do this translation in psychological terms, purely psychological, without any kind of terms which are used in the Rig Veda. Usually we translate as a flame. Instead of the flame, we would say aspiration or the divine will or seeking with adoration. So put only psychological terms and try to translate the Vedic hymns. And that could be also done. It's another kind of exercise which we could do together. Maybe we need the whole scholarship, we need the whole direction of researchers involved in this, who are interested to recover the meaning of the Veda. There are only few in the world who are interested to do this, because it's kind of demanding a lot, I guess. Great. We
Would
can
we have
stop.
the study of those hymns of mystic fire, like the verses in the Sanskrit class later on?
Right. We did something, yes, in our. You are referring to our Vedic studies? I do not know what you are referring to, because I have several groups.
Oh, okay. I was just asking, would we be doing those Vedic studies in this Sanskrit class, like studying the verses of the Vedas, like how you explained with the psychological and the
It's up
roots
to
of
us. We can go into that, but we need to some language knowledge of some basics. Maybe not. Maybe in itself it's an interesting kind of exercise to look into it from this from general significances and see in the words recover their meanings without knowing much of Sanskrit, which is also possible. At least with the guide, I can guide you into it and give you whatever insights I have, and we can share, and you can explore in your way, and it will be always to the point. You will be surprised how it is close to the meaning. It won't be far away from the truth. Yeah, why not? It's a high time to try to do these things, yeah, I guess. Okay, that was on the phonetic system. And so next time we will take morphology, how the words are built. There are two types of words, verbs and nouns. And there are two different views, that at the beginning was the noun, the name, and then it generated the word. Or there is another view that there was the verb at the beginning, which generated the name. So it's a kind of a dispute in linguistics forever, I guess, and there is no answer yet given to it. But there are some people who believe that at the beginning was the verb, and others believe that at the beginning was the noun, the name. What do you believe? What was that at the beginning? Logos, the action, or the name, the noun? Well, it's for next time, I guess. Jaska looks at it that name, and then the verb is nothing but explanatory name. It is something which explaining the major name. So predicate. I am I am going to the school. So going is to be going is nothing but explaining what I am. This is one view on the verb, and there is another view. Yeah? He goes or he does something, and so you can derive names from the roots, from the verbal roots, and create nouns. And that is later view. Panini gives this nama and kriya. Kriya already is the name, which is acting, acting in time, and has also the sense of imperative. Yeah, you can command by the name. Sit, look, go, and that is the verb. It acts by itself. It's not explaining only the name. It has its own power of action. So we can look into this. It's a philosophy of language. It's an interesting subject, and how also everything is arranged through karakas on the meanings, how meanings build up the whole universe. What meanings do we have within our mental instrumentation toolbox? We have certain significances, so such as nominative case, yeah, the subject and object, and instrumental case, dative, ablative, genitive, locative. We can locate and relate all meanings through these relations. Okay, that is for the next time. I will stop here for today. I already took over some time, so I will close with mantra and then Om Sarve Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Shri Guru Namaha Hari Om